Welcome, everyone. Well, as many of you know by now, in this 12 Days of Giving, I asked all the team members here at Look Media to come up with an organization that they feel should be highlighted. And Jack Hojone, who's our Senior Creative Director and all things creative to Look Media, said, you got to do Double H. And he's absolutely right. So joining me today is Max Urenda, who's the CEO
Hi, Jesse. How are
of
you?
Double H Ranch. So welcome, Max. Great to have you back.
Pleasure to be here.
Hey, for many of you know about Double H, but just in case you don't, a little over 22 years ago, or maybe 23 years ago, one of the major benefactors of our area, Charles Wood, came up with the idea of building a camp devoted to children with disabilities. And he solicited Paul Newman, got Paul Newman, and then close thereafter found this guy. Who was 5 miles down the road after a national search.
Exactly.
Is that right?
The Newman's search team went to Charlie and said, "We think the guy you want lives 5 miles down the road."
Well, apparently they were right, Max.
Well, it was a wonderful opportunity, and I think Charlie's interview got cut to the chase. It was going to be, what's it going to be like going from a big state bureaucracy? I worked for the office of Almar DD to working for one man, Charlie Wood.
That's right.
And we, after about a year of he and I kind of really looking at what we had, it was kind of a new venture for both of us, obviously.
Sure.
And the community from day one has supported this initiative. And after the first year, Charlie recognized that what we had was a gem. And from there, we have been polishing that pearl and controlled growth for 22 years, and now serving over 2,200 children and family members.
Boy, there are CEOs and there are CEOs. You really got this one nailed, I'll tell you.
Thank
you.
Hey,
for viewers who may not know, just a quick overview of Double H.
The primary mission of Double H, again, through Charlie's vision of wanting to create a second camp under the Paul Newman name, is to provide children and families who are dealing with life-threatening illnesses an opportunity to experience life-changing camping experiences that are empowering, exciting, fun, medically sound. That's the big differential between Double H and most not-for-profits. It's our medical presence with the medical community, the diversity, and certainly the medical acuity of our children. No charge is ever incurred by the families. We try to capture the magic of the Adirondacks for these kids.
Wow, boy, do you ever. You focus in with children, as I understand it, kids are suffering from all forms of cancer, right?
All forms
of blood disorders. And
thalassemia, sickle cell anemia, hemophilia, leukemia. And then we knew, starting out it was cancer and serious blood disorders, but we knew locally there were so many kids with neuromuscular impairments. We felt if we're not helping those local kids, we shouldn't be in the business. So about 3 years into the start of our initiative back in 1993, we introduced children who are diagnosed with neuromuscular impairments, spina bifida, muscular dystrophy, cerebral palsy.
And over the course of the summer, the camp's operating. Right now, it also operates during the winter as well.
We operate year-round.
Yeah,
so the core initial program that Newman was attached to was the summer residential, and then we expanded into the adaptive winter sports program, which most folks think we partner with like Gore Mountain or Whiteface. We are partnering with Double H. We do have a partnership with Gore for the training aspects because we need that elevation now. But right on site, we have 2 trails, 2-person chairlift, a conveyor lift. We make our own snow. The conditions are just pristine, and it's the only privatized program of its kind in the country.
And also a protected environment as well, right?
Hugely important, Jesse,
yes,
for
of course
our
it is.
kids.
You know, Max said before we went on air, I said, can you just sort of encapsulate this for me? And his words were, safe experience that's life-changing. Boy, is that true. And think about these kids and what they're going through. Can you imagine?
I think a critical point is it's not just the children that are getting those life-changing experiences. It's our volunteers, it's our staff. Everyone who becomes affiliated with the camp leaves as a better person.
I know. The staff is incredibly dedicated. People come back year after year. You have amazing volunteers, registered nurses volunteer in the summer, you were telling me. A particular skill set that staff needs to know how to deal with certain issues.
The medical component is obviously significant. It affords us the ability to provide these kids. Otherwise, they're precluded from going to traditional camps. So through the Children's Hospital at Albany Medical Center, they literally provide us the physicians in residence, provide the medical malpractice. About 70% of our registered nurses come from Albany Medical Center, and nurses are taking their vacations to literally be there to work with these kids in the best stages of their life. Seeing these kids, typically in the worst stages of their life in the hospital, this reinforces and rejuvenates the medical team to go back and do well by these kids while they're in the hospital.
You think about children that are suffering from these kinds of ailments, and you think to yourself that it's one thing medicine does cure a lot of things, but the whole spiritual side of this, the whole sense that a child is out in the Adirondacks, they're hearing laughter, they can communicate with other children who are suffering from kind of the same things. The bond, the community between the kids, it's insane.
It's this philosophy of care that we have. It's
Yes.
kind of like this protected bubble.
Yes,
and I think what's wonderful is the volunteers and the counselors who work with these kids are going to spread that throughout the country and kind of say, you know what, it's okay to get close to your patients. A lot of them are pursuing pre-med nursing, and they're told, don't get close to your baloney. They're basically
Yes,
saying
right.
what happens here at the camp is providing these kids with true independence, resilience, and we can make this happen at other hospitals. So I think that the culture and that philosophy of care, again, is being administered through our counselors who come back year after year, become professionals in the field, and then give back to the community.
Max, I want to talk about some of the things you want to do for 2015, but I do want to mention something he told me off camera, that you had an event recently, and I think you were saying you were kind of like walking back to your car, and some of the campers who had been to the camp over the years yelled out to him, "That's my home." Wow.
One of the best days of the year for all of us is our holiday party that we host at the camp. And we had 300 children and family members come through a snowstorm, get to camp, to get back to their home away from home. It truly, those kids would not miss it. And I'm sure the parents were starting to talk about, well, the weather's not good, the roads are probably a little bad. The kids were like, we're going. So God bless the parents.
You're telling me. All right, so 2015.
2015.
What do you want to do?
We want to continue serving as many kids as possible. We have some new hospital partnerships that we're working with. One in New Jersey, the Children's Specialized Hospital, which will, again, bring new referrals to the camp. We are going to be installing in the spring of 2015 the largest solar system in the Adirondack Park. It's something we researched. We keep building new efficiencies into the program, bringing the cost of doing business hopefully down a little bit, but the rates keep going up. So what we decided we were going to pursue with U.S. Light and Energy as a partner.
Okay.
And we're going to be installing that in May. We have a really large-scale renovation project in our indoor pool for our changing areas, supported by the Charles R. Wood Foundation. They're underwriting that entire project for us. I think building on our advanced training, always doing what we do better. I think that's one of the things to credit to our medical team, our operations team, facilities and development. We are doing exceptional work at the Double H, but I think we all recognize we can even do better, and I think we strive for that.
Well, again, there are CEOs and then there are CEOs, so the fact that you encapsulate everything with that philosophy is really, it's really admire. I really admire that.
Thank you,
I'm sure all of us do. Hey, you've got a couple of events. We'll be checking in with you over the course of the year. Fundraising is always seriously important, correct?
We, as I mentioned earlier, we don't charge for services. That was something Paul Newman said right out of the gate. No charge for anything. So we're a publicly supported, not-for-profit 501c3 charity. Individuals, corporations, organizations. What I love seeing happening as a trend is the youth of today, recognizing I don't want, in lieu of birthdays or bar mitzvahs, I want the money that would go to presents to go to these kids at Double H. The community service work days, the varsity clubs, just everyone's saying that we have an opportunity, an obligation to give back to this organization, and we can help make a difference in the lives of these kids. So December is our largest fundraising month. It's critical. We hit our balanced budget at the 11th hour, and this is the month that is so critically important to us to be able to do what we do and hopefully build some new initiatives into the next year.
All right, everybody, we know what our job is. It is the 11th hour. Boy, it's like a lot of organizations, right?
Absolutely.
The 11th
Like all
hour comes. So please, be generous. This is a very, very unique facility, obviously run by people with a lot of passion, and they certainly deserve and need your help. So Max, thanks a lot for coming in. Happy holidays to you. And we'll be checking in throughout the year.
Thank you.
To see this interview again, head to our website, looktvonline.com.